So in this lecture, we'll be dealing with offences against property, and that is given under chapter 17. And the offences against property are as follows. First comes the theft, extortion, robbery, dacoity, criminal misappropriation of property, criminal breach of trust, receiving stolen property, cheating, mischief, and criminal trespass as well. So we'll be dealing with each offences one by one. So first comes the theft, has been given under section 303. And any person who has dishonest intention is uh, defined under section 2 clause 7, and such person has dishonest intention to cause wrongful loss or gain. Wrongful loss or gain is provided under section 2 clause 36, 37, 38. And the person has dishonest intention to take away any mobile property. Here the mobile property is different from corporeal property, because in IPC, uh, instead of mobile property, it was uh, uh, corporeal property was given, and in IPC mobile property was not given. So in BNS there has been a slight change here, and it's given mobile property because it was intended to include data theft as well, because corporeal property is something that can be seen, which is similar to tangible property that can be seen and has a shape. So mobile property includes the data theft, right? So data can be moved easily, and therefore it has widened the scope of the theft. So and the person has dishonest intention to take away any mobile property from lawful possession. Here there's nothing that talks about ownership, it talks about possession only. So it is not required that the person from whom the property is being the offense of theft is being done is not necessarily to be the owner of such property. It could be mere possession that he might have. So from anyone's possession, that is lawful possession, without consent. So mobile property is being taken without any consent. The consent could be expressed or implied. So if a consent has been given, that cannot be construed as a theft, right? So consent is not given here. And there are five explanations that has been provided. Explanation one: here the trees, when they have been severed, when they have been cut, becomes mobile, right? So that could also come under the ambit of theft when they are severed. And according to explanation 2, just by cutting, the act of severing the tree itself would constitute theft, uh, not necessarily the tree must have completely be severed. It may also, the act of committing such severance would merely constitute an offense of theft. And explanation 3 deals with removing any obstacle which is holding a thing. For example, if there is an AC, and AC being a thing here, and it is being screws hold AC, right? So if any person unscrew the screws, and if he gets caught, he commits theft. And it is not necessary that he have to completely remove it. The act, if he's caught just by doing that act, that is unscrewing the AC itself, would make him liable under this provision. And explanation 4 deals with causing any animal to move or things attached to it. For example, if any cat or dog, it being an animal, has some necklace and expensive stuff around its neck, and someone tries to give biscuits to that dog, and uh, makes uh, he induces that dog to move in a particular direction and steals either the dog as well as uh, the chain which the dog has, the expensive chain. It shall be construed that both dog as well as chain is being subjected to theft here. So that is explanation 4. And explanation 5 talks about the consent. As we already discussed, consent includes expressed and implied consent. And possession, as we dealt with lawful possession, right? So possession deals with both expressed as well as implied possession. Yeah. So in BNS, a new provision has been given, that is petty organized crime. Uh, that is uh, it- that is not a solo dance where theft is a solo dance. Here, petty organized crime is not a solo dance. It is a group offense, and committing theft only, but in a group sense, right? In a team sense. So that is pretty serious in nature, and therefore, minimum 1 year of imprisonment is provided, and a maximum of 7 year punishment is provided for this offense, petty organized crime, and it is generally non-compoundable, which means compromise cannot be attained when it comes to petty organized crime, and sometimes along with imprisonment, fine can also be imposed. So generally, let's deal with punishment for theft that has been provided under Section 303 Clause 2, and the punishment would be 3 years of imprisonment, and if not fine or both in sometimes. If the theft of a property is worth below 5,000 and the property has been recovered, and the person is getting convicted for the first time, then in such case, community service would suffice. It is not necessary that a person should be sent behind bars for his first time offense. So community service would suffice for him, and in case of second conviction, he should be subjected to at least 1 year of imprisonment, which may extend to 5 years of rigorous imprisonment along with fine, because he is getting convicted for second time, right? So in such case, his punishment could be elevated and enhanced. Credit card skimming will also come under theft, under the provision of theft. So section 304 deals with snatching here. This is also a new provision under BNS. So in order to commit theft, the offender suddenly, quickly, and forcefully. These are the keywords that one should remember when it comes to snatching. This being a new offense, it is really important in terms of judiciary aspect. So, if any person suddenly, quickly, or forcefully seizes or secures or grabs or take away any movable property in the sense it is a corporeal property alone here. So, rather using movable property, we could probably use a term corporeal property, because here only tangible property could be subjected to snatching and not intangible property. Uh, so labeling corporeal alone would suffice. So if any person, the offender, suddenly, quickly, or forcibly seizes or secures or grabs or take away from any possession, any corporeal property, then in such case he shall be punished for the offense of snatching, and shall be punished for 3 years of imprisonment along with fine. Section 305 deals with theft, committing theft in human dwelling house, tent, or vessel. Uh, any articles in any means of transport, for example, if for God's sake, if someone has committed theft by um, taking away any seat from any transport like buses, cars, etc., if the seat has been taken away, uh, uh, and they have been subjected to theft, in such case it can come under theft under section 305, because they have been committed inside a transport, that could be bus, car, whatever. And idle, here idol has been subjected to theft. That idol should directly relate to any place of worship and the property of government. For example, if there is any water facility, drinking water facility that has been arranged and provided by the government, and if there is a mug or tumbler like thing that is attached to that, which is government property, in fact, that is provided for sake of drinking uh, water. So if somebody snatches or commits theft over such tumbler, even that could constitute an offense of theft under section 305. Um, and section 306 deals with theft that has been committed by servant, and such servant shall be subject to 7 years of imprisonment along with fine. And section 307 deals with a preparation that has been made for purpose of causing death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, or putting some fear. So he does this preparation before committing theft, so that he can escape from the scenario, so he cannot get caught. So he have a precautionary plan, that is, if we get caught, we can escape by inflicting death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, and we can also put fear of these stuffs, and we can escape from the situation out there. And he commits theft in that scenario. That is an offense under section 307. And let's delve into extortion, that is given under section 308. So extortion, the definition is given under clause 1. So if any person dishonestly induces any person to deliver, uh, or if any person inflicts fear or injury to that person or any other person, so that he can induce a person to deliver a movable property or immovable property or any valuable security or anything that is signed or sealed, that could be turned uh, into a valuable security. So here the person inflicts fear or injury so that he can induce another person to whom he is committing extortion. He can induce that person to deliver movable or immovable property or valuable security to the person who is committing the offense. So he is inducing another person to transfer the to deliver the property, that could be movable, immovable, or valuable security, or anything that is signed and sealed, etc. So here is inflicting fear of injury. Injury may include body, mind, reputation, and the property itself under its definition. So the punishment for extortion would be 7 years of imprisonment, or fine, or even both sometimes. So a person commits extortion by fear or injury, but he does not seeks delivery of property. So delivery of property has not been completed yet. Only fear of injury has been shown. In such case, 2 years of imprisonment along with fine can be provided as a punishment. Clause 4 deals with fear of and extortion has been committed by inflicting fear of death or grievous hurt. In such case, the offender shall be punished on imprisonment of 7 years along with fine. And extortion has been committed, and fear of death or grievous hurt has been given. I beg your pardon. In clause 4, extortion has not been committed, but only fear has been inflicted, but extortion has not been committed. In such case, 7 years of imprisonment along with fine. And if extortion is completed, then 10 years of fine along with 10 years of uh, imprisonment along with fine is provided. And section 308 clause 6 deals with a fear has been inflicted. So that is with regard to an acquisition, a false acquisition, we can say that if you uh, uh, just making false allegations, as in with regard to extortion, like, if you tell this to a senior official, I'll just make a false allegations or acquisition that which would in turn make you liable for death penalty or life imprisonment. So by putting such acquisitions, you're just putting fear upon another person and extorting something for your benefit. So that is an offense, that is an extortion, and shall be punished for 10 years of imprisonment along with fine. And an extortion has been committed plus false acquisition, an acquisition for an offense that is punishable with death or life imprisonment has been subjected uh, with regard to any extortion that is to be committed. And such case, 10 years of imprisonment along with fine can be provided as punishment. Section 309 deals with robbery. So the definition is quite simple. So robbery is of two types. When theft could become robbery at one scenario, and an extortion can become a robbery one scenario, another scenario. So section 1 generally talks about robbery. Section 309 clause 1 deals with robbery, and section 309 clause 2 deals with when theft be can become robbery. So while committing robbery, that is when committing or attempting, it is not just about committing but attempting to carry away any property uh, by inflicting instant fear of death, hurt, or wrongful restraint. So instant fear, this is the only difference between robbery and extortion. In extortion, there is inflicting fear, but there is no instant fear, right? So that makes the only difference between robbery and extortion. Here, a person inflicts an instant fear of death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, so that he can commit or attempt to commit, so that he can take away property, uh, he can carry away any property from anyone's possession, and that becomes, in such case, such theft shall become robbery. And clause 3 deals with when extortion can become robbery. Here, for sake of extortion becoming robbery, it should be it should be done in the presence of witness, victim here, and yeah, it shall always be done in the presence of victim, and victim is subjected to fear of death, hurt, or wrongful restraint. Not just victim, but any other person, for example their children, their relatives, their close ones, could also be subject to such fear. And just by doing that extortion act, there is fear of death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, and such act shall become robbery. Such extortion shall become robbery under clause 3. An explanation has been provided. So here, the presence of victim is the key word when an extortion becomes robbery. So such presence would is not necessary that it should be a mere physical presence. It shall also be, you know, that presence is sufficient near to put into fear. It is not that that person to whom the fear is caused, the victim, should be present physically. It is not the case. The victim shall not also be physically present, but for example, he can be in a video call in the next street, and he may be subject to such fear, so that extortion can become a robbery in some way or the other. So, yeah, physical presence is not generally required for sake of extortion becoming robbery. Such fear is sufficiently near to put fear would suffice. And the punishment for robbery would be 10 years of rigorous imprisonment along with fine. In If such robbery has been committed in highway during uh, after sunset or before sunrise, then the offender shall be punished for 14 years of imprisonment, because that is really serious offense, because he is committing in highway, also at the time when sun has not set, or before sunrise. An attempt for robbery in itself would cause the offender be subjected to 7 years of rigorous imprisonment along with fine, and such attempt has caused hurt of someone while carrying away such robbery. In such case, the offender shall be punished for life imprisonment along, if not life imprisonment, he shall be punished with 10 years of rigorous imprisonment along with fine. Section 310 deals with dacoity. So when robbery is a solo dance, dacoity is a team dance where more than 5 members are involved here. Um yeah, dacoity includes attempting and aiding as well. So there are multiple forms of dacoity, and each form has a different punishment attached to it. Generally, dacoity, the punishment is provided under clause 2 of section 310. So generally, the punishment would be rigorous imprisonment of 10 years, and along with fine. And if an aggravated form of dacoity would be is given under clause 3, that is, while committing dacoity any one member has committed murder, then all will be punished for the same, that is for death, life imprisonment, or rigorous imprisonment, that to minimum 10 years. And clause 4 deals with while committing dacoity a preparation for dacoity has been made, then they shall be punished for death. And they have assembled the persons who have planned to commit dacoity has assembled together. Even that would constitute an offense, and they shall be punished for death. In such case, and under clause 6, when any person is found to be attached with any gang of dacoits, even the person who's getting attached, he will be punished for life imprisonment and 7 years of rigorous imprisonment along with fine. Even such membership itself would constitute a crime here. And section 313 deals with not dacoity, but getting attached to thieves and uh, persons who are habitually committing thefts and robberies and all. So if I get attached to any person who's habitually committing theft or habitually committing robbery, then I'll be prosecuted under this section. That too for rigorous imprisonment for 7 years. And section 311 deals with committing dacoity with deadly weapon. So in such case, uh, a dacoity has been committed and to cause or attempt to cause death or grievous hurt. In such case, 7 years minimum would be given as a punishment for that. And under section 312, uh, deadly weapon to attempt robbery or dacoity. So if any deadly weapon has been employed while robbery or dacoity, then such case 7 years of minimum imprisonment shall be given. Section 314 deals with criminal misappropriation of property. So, criminal misappropriation is that uh, if any person dishonestly misappropriates or converts for his own use, this own use is the key word here. So, whenever misappropriation uh, pops out, one should always remember it has been done for the own use, generally, because own use directly relates to misappropriation, so that would be easy. Own use is done only for a mobile property, and the punishment for committing criminal misappropriation would be 2 years of imprisonment along with fine, a minimum. So before in IPC there was no minimum benchmark punishment was not provided in IPC, but here in BNS, even the maximum punishment is 2 years of imprisonment along with fine. Minimum 6 months should be compulsorily provided as a punishment to the person who is making the offense of criminal misappropriation of property. Two explanations are given. Explanation one deals with uh, at the time of misappropriation, dishonestness must be there. For example, while taking away such property, the person does not have any bad intention. He just want to take the property and he just want to return it back. But the person takes away the property and eventually he does not have intention to give it back, so he keeps it with himself. So while he is keeping that property with himself, he has that dishonest mindset, right? So he commits misappropriation at that time. So even it is not necessary that while taking away such property you should have dishonestiness. Eventually, if your evil face shows up and you misappropriate the property, even in that case, you will be subjected under this provision. Explanation 2 deals with the finder of lost goods. So the finder of lost goods always have this obligation to find the real owner and hand over the property. If someone has found lost good and he does not search for the real owner and he keeps that property with himself, he commits criminal misappropriation as well under this section, and he'll be punished for 2 years of imprisonment or fine or both in some such situations. Section 315 deals with property possessed by deceased. This is an aggravated form of misappropriation. So if any deceased person has got some property in his pockets or with himself, he has some property, and servant of such a dead person commits criminal misappropriation and takes that property for his own use, has committed an aggravated form of criminal misappropriation, and therefore he'll be punished for 7 years of imprisonment. Section 316 deals with criminal misappropriation of trust. So the only difference between criminal misappropriation of property and criminal breach of trust would be here in the criminal breach of trust, property is entrusted with a particular person. So here the property is not taken away, but it is being entrusted with some person with trust, right? So when it comes to criminal breach of trust, any manner entrusted with the property via any denomination example would be key when it comes to house. Yeah, when you're entrusting a particular house with your friend or relatives, you will just hand over the keys, right? So that key would construed that key will be construed as a denomination, and therefore the key is being entrusted is equal to the house is being entrusted itself. So in such case, the person dishonestly misappropriates or converts such property to own use. So if I hand over my house, the keys of my house to someone, and if he in turn uses it for his own purpose, or he violates uh, he makes a violation uh, under law while disposing it, or makes any person to do so, it is not just him making that violation. He can also make another person liable, or he can make another person to do so, to dispose such property that I entrusted to him to use it in violation of law. Explanation 1 is has provided uh, explanation 1 and 2 talks about employees insurance fund and PF provident fund. So generally employees would contribute to provident fund, right? So they will provide funds to the employer, and it is the obligation of employees to deposit such contributions to PF of each employee's account. If the employers fails to do so, or fails to deposit such contribution that has been entrusted by the employees, then they would be punished under this provision. That is for criminal breach of trust. It applies for both PF as well as employees insurance fund. And yeah, uh, the punishment for criminal breach of trust is 5 years of imprisonment in case criminal breach of trust that has been committed by carrier wharfingers, warehouse keepers. Extra punishment, an enhanced punishment has been given, that is 7 years along with fine. And if in case criminal breach of trust has been committed by clerk, servants, etc., then they shall be punished for 7 years of imprisonment along with fine. And if in case criminal breach of trust has been committed by public servant, banker, merchant, agent, then they shall be punished with life imprisonment or 10 years along with fine. Section 317 clause 1 deal with stolen property. So what is stolen property? Stolen property is just the possession has been transferred here by theft, extortion, robbery, or criminal breach of trust. So via these means, possession of property is being transferred within India. So a stolen property ceases to be a stolen property when it comes back to the real owner, the original owner, right? Yeah, under clause 2, the punishment has been provided. So if any person dishonestly receives any stolen property, so while receiving it, he knows or he has reason to believe that it is a stolen property, right? It is not that he should only know, he has reason to believe that such property is a stolen property, then he should not take that property. Even after he takes that property, he will be punished for 3 years of imprisonment or fine or both sometimes. And under clause 3 of section 317, if any person dishonestly receives any property, that has been stolen via dacoity, right? And the person receiving person has reason to believe or knows that the person is a dacoit. The person who's giving that particular property is a dacoit. If the person knows or he has reason to believe that person to be a dacoit, and he still receives that property, then he shall be punished because he is supporting dacoity, right? So he shall be punished with life imprisonment, rigorous imprisonment, that too for 10 years along with fine. And clause 4 deals with habitually dealing with stolen property. If some person deals with stolen property habitually, then he shall be liable for life imprisonment or 10 years of imprisonment along with fine. And clause 5 deals with concealing stolen property. There are stolen property and those stolen property is being concealed, then such case 3 years of imprisonment or fine or even both are given in certain situations. Section 318 deals with cheating. So, cheating is nothing but it is given under Section 318, Clause 1, that is uh, deceiving fraudulently or dishonestly. Just by deceiving uh, fraudulently or dishonestly, uh, you are inducing a person to deliver a property, right? Not just inducing, but inducing him to give consent so that you can retain his property. That to fake consent. Like if you have induced that person to give you consent, that is a fake consent, right? He is not giving his consent on his own, and therefore it becomes a fake consent, and you are obtaining such consent intentionally to make victim to do something and not to do something. So, but so, uh, to do something and not to do something that he might not have done when he has not been deceived, right? So if he is not being deceived, he wouldn't have given such consent, and he wouldn't have given that act in fact, and yeah, he wouldn't have done that act, and such act or omission is likely to cause damage or harm. Harm includes body, mind, reputation, property as well. Section 324, Clause 1 deals with mischief. So here, whenever mischief comes, we can construe it to be destruction of a property. Yeah, that could be a keyword when it comes to mischief because it predominantly deals with destruction of a property. So whoever with intention causes wrongful loss or gain to public or any person, that deals with destruction of property or diminishing the property, he commits an offense of mischief. So explanation has been provided. So it is not that the offender having intention of causing only the uh, uh, so the it is not necessary that offender should have intention of causing damage to only the owner, right? He can also cause damage uh, to the person who is just possessing that property, not merely the owner himself. Hmm. And explanation 2 deals with an act affecting property belonging to person who commits the act. Like if I am the person who's committing mischief, the property is mine, and I'm committing offense to my property itself. Like I'm destroying my property. This could be hilarious, and at the same time it might happen for real because there's a concept of co-ownership, there's a concept of lien. Yeah, if there's a if I'm a joint owner in a particular property, I can't just destroy that property by myself, right, without obtaining consent of another co-owner uh, who who will also have interest in the property. So he can't do that. You can't. In sometimes you can't even destroy your own property. So that is explanation two. And punishment for mischief is provided under clause 2, that is 6 months of imprisonment or fine or even both in sometimes. And under clause 3, um, yeah, whoever causes wrongful causes loss or damage to any government or local authority, he shall be punished for 1 year of imprisonment or fine or both in some times. So if under clause 4, if a mischief that has been committed and such destruction of property is worth of rupees 20,000 is between the range of 20,000 and 1 lakh, then the offender shall be punished with 2 years of imprisonment or fine or both in sometimes. So in clause 5, it is given that when a mischief has been committed upon a property that is worth more than 1 lakh, then the offender shall be punished for 5 years of imprisonment or fine or both. So under clause 6, there is a preparation itself for causing death or hurt or wrongful restraint uh, even before committing mischief is there. So in such case, that could also be a punishment. That could also be an offense under this section. Section 325 deals with when mischief has been committed by killing, poisoning, maiming, or rendering useless any animal. So mischief has been committed with regard to an animal, then the offender shall be punished with 5 years of imprisonment or fine or both sometimes. So there are multiple forms of mischief, and under section 326, uh, mischief are as follows. Like mischief includes the commission of mischief includes uh, committing mischief with regard to supply of water, public road or bridge, etc., public drainage system, moving any sign or signal used for navigation of railways, aircraft, or ship, or destroying or moving any landmark fixed. And this destruction or moving is done by any public authority or public servant, and damaging any property with explosive substance, then they shall be punished with 7 years of imprisonment or fine. And if in case fire or explosive substance have been used for the purpose of destroying a particular building that is used as a place of worship or human dwelling, plus such place is used for keeping some property in custody, then such offenders shall be liable for they shall be punished for life imprisonment or 10 years of imprisonment or fine. Section 329 clause 1 deals with criminal trespass. So whoever enters upon any property that is in possession of another, such entering is to commit an offense. That is, it could be for the purpose of committing an offense or to intimidate and cause annoyance or insult. So a person is entering inside the property not just because he's going to commit an offense. It could be for sake of causing annoyance too, right? So annoyance is pretty much objective, and there are multiple judicial proceedings that are provided in order to determine what is annoyance. So even mere causing of annoyance would constitute a criminal trespass if he enters upon your property. Uh, so if any person lawfully enters but remains there, so while entering, he enters such property lawfully, but eventually he remains there itself, or he commits an offense, then that shall be an offense of criminal trespass. So, if any person commits a criminal trespass in human dwelling or any building and place of worship, that shall be construed as an house trespass. An explanation is that um, it is not that your whole body you will have to fully enter upon a particular property. It will also be suffice when any part of your body enters upon a particular property. That would be sufficient. It is not required that you should move your own whole body inside that particular property. And the punishment for this criminal trespass is provided under clause 3, that is 3 months for trespass, and uh, punishment for house trespass is 1 year, and if not 1 year of imprisonment, fine shall also be imposed, or a fine of 5,000 shall be imposed, and also both in some times. So section 330 clause 1 deals with lurking house trespass. Lurking house trespass is nothing but precautionary measures have been taken in order to conceal a trespass, that is called lurking of trespass. So clause 2 deals with housebreaking here, and there are 6 ways to commit housebreaking. So whoever enters or quits uh, via a passage made by himself or his abettor, that is, for example, he digs a tunnel and gets inside the property, that is first instance, and he enters or quits via a passage that was not intended uh, by any person to be used as a passage. For example, roof. Roof is generally not intended to used as a passage, right, to enter upon a particular property. So that is second instance of housebreaking. And the third, whoever enters or quits via uh, when he himself or abeta has opened in order to commit house trespass by any means the passage was not intended by the occupier. So if there is a particular door that has been closed for several years and it has not been used by the occupier as a passage to come inside the property, to enter into the property, and when the offender uses that closed door to enter upon a particular property, then he commits housebreaking because that particular door is not being used there. And yeah, this happens everywhere. That is, just by opening lock you can be punished for an offense of housebreaking. By opening a lock and you're entering inside the premises, and by using criminal force or committing assault or threatening with assault, if you're entering upon any property by using all this, would also constitute housebreaking. For example, threatening with knife, and you just if someone has threatened me with knife, I'll just allow them inside my house, right? So that is one of the example or instance that we can say. And the last instance would be um, just by opening gate, passage which he knows to have been fastened against such entrance or departure, plus fastened in by himself or by his abeta. This the terms are complicated here. It is just uh, the door is being closed without any lock, and you're just opening the door and getting inside the property. That's it. Those are some of the instances of housebreaking, and I assume that is 6 ways to commit housebreaking. An explanation for housebreaking is that um, if any outpost that is attached to your property, that is actual house is there in the center of the property, and if there is any outpost in any particular corner of the property, and if that outpost and your actual house is directly connected and has a nexus, and there is a connection between two such property, and if someone enters upon that house outpost itself, would would constitute house breaking. It is not necessary that he should enter upon the actual property. Even if he enters upon the outpost, would make him liable under uh, uh, housebreaking. So Section 331 deals with punishment for lurking house trespass, that is 2 years along with fine, and clause 2 deals with lurking house trespass is committed after sunset or before sunrise. In such case, 3 years plus fine is given as punishment. Clause 3, lurking house trespass is done, uh, and while doing it, uh, the offender commits an offense of that is punishable for imprisonment, and in that case 3 years of imprisonment shall be given. If lurking of trespass has been uh, while doing lurking of trespass and the offender has committed theft, in such case 10 years of imprisonment maximum can be given. uh, when it comes to clause 4, lurking of trespass, while committing lurking of trespass, the offender has committed an offense that is punishable with imprisonment, but he is committing that lurking house trespass at after sunset and before sunrise. Then in such case he shall be punished for 5 years of imprisonment along with fine. And while committing such lurking house trespass, um, that too in consonance with the previous provision, that is committing lurking of trespass while that is punishable with theft, but he's committing at after sunrise and before sunset, after sunset and before sunrise, and he commits theft. In such case, 14 years of imprisonment can be given as a punishment. So clause 5 deals with lurking of trespass while committing lurking of trespass. uh, that too, before committing lurking of trespass, is prepared. He has taken precautionary measures that if he gets caught, he would inflict hurt or assault or wrongful restraint or fear. Then in such case, he has taken precautionary measures and he has made that preparation. In such case, he shall be punished with 10 years of imprisonment along with fine. Clause 6 deals with lurking of trespass. He has committed lurking of trespass and he has committed it after sunset and before sunrise. Plus, the above preparation is there. In such case, 14 years of imprisonment along with fine can be given as a punishment. Clause 7 deals with lurking of while committing lurking of trespass. The offender causes grievous hurt or attempts to cause grievous hurt. In such case, the punishment would be life imprisonment or 10 years of imprisonment along with fine. And clause 8 deals with lurking of trespass while committing lurking of trespass. He has caused grievous hurt, but is committing such lurking of trespass at sunset and before sunrise. Then, in such case, he shall be punished for life imprisonment or 10 years of fine along 10 years of imprisonment along with fine. Section 332 deals with house trespass to commit an offense that is punishable with death. So, while committing house trespass, I mean, uh, uh, house trespass is carried away in order to uh, yeah, house trespass is committed in order to commit an offense that is punishable with death. So in such case, the punishment would be life imprisonment or 10 years of imprisonment, that too rigorous imprisonment along with fine can be given. And here the house trespass has been committed to commit an offense that is punishable with life imprisonment. In such case, 10 years of imprisonment along with fine is provided as punishment. And uh, under clause C, house trespass has been committed and that to commit an offense that is punishable with imprisonment. In such case, 2 years of punishment, 2 years of imprisonment can be given as a punishment along with fine. And finally, if house trespass has been committed to commit theft, in such case, 7 years of imprisonment shall be given as a punishment. Section 333, uh, under this section, and house trespass is being committed, uh, even before committing it, there is a preparation, that is precautionary measure has been taken in order for him to escape if he gets caught, right? So preparation has been done to cause hurt, wrongful restraint, assault, or fear of these. If such preparations have been done, and only after such preparation, house trespass has been committed. In such case, 7 years of imprisonment along with fine is provided as a punishment. Under section 334, deals with punishment for mischief. If any person has intention to commit mischief, that to closed is, receptacle, yeah, he has intention to commit mischief with regard to close receptacle, and it breaks opens that closed receptacle is already closed, right? So that person commits mischief by opening it, and he has reason to believe that it contains that a closed receptacle contains property in it. So he has intention to commit mischief, uh, and he opens that closed receptacle that contains property. In such case, he shall be punished with 2 years of imprisonment or fine or both. When it comes to clause 2, the term entrusted is used. So that closed receptacle is entrusted, right? Here, uh, even if such entrustment is given, the offender tries to open it and he commits mischief, right? So the offender knows that such closed one has some property in it. It contains property in it, and with intention to cause mischief, he breaks, opens it, uh, and he has committed an offense when he is interested upon such receptacle, and he opens it up and commits mischief. In such case, he shall be punished for 3 years of imprisonment or fine, or even both in some cases. So that is all when it comes to offenses against property. Hope you enjoyed it.